explosion that's happened here in Austin.
Rebecca Lopez is in Austin following this story. She joins us live tonight from South Austin with the scare that happened at the Goodwill. Rebecca?
Well, I was one of the first crews here, and I can tell you there were just tons of federal agents. But what struck me most was the fear on people's faces, the community. There was real panic and concern, and all of that continues to grow as you see federal authorities and officers racing from scene to scene. A small army of federal agents swarmed a Goodwill store.
Unit after unit, just trucks, just fire trucks.
They blocked off roads and pushed people back.
I need to move all the way back to the lights, the signal light, okay? They're setting up a command post right here in this area.
I've been all day just scared. I'm sad that it's come to this part of town.
Very quickly, the ATF and Austin police said this was not a package bomb, but an incendiary device, and they did not believe it was related to the serial bombings. But they did say one person was injured.
There must have been some kind of minor explosion for this flash to occur, so in some way this injured his hand, and he's in the hospital. I understand he's doing fine.
The latest incident comes on the heels of 6 bombs either detonated or sent by the same person or persons since March 2nd. The latest bomb in that case exploded at a FedEx plant in Church early this morning.
There were nails and metals in the bomb. Package was going to Austin.
Authorities were able to trace that package to this FedEx store in Sun Valley, which was shut down most of the day.
The madness, the worldwide madness is starting to hit a little close to home.
Agents also found a 6th bomb at this FedEx facility near the airport. That package did not explode, and that perhaps is the biggest break in this case. Agents can now tell exactly how the bombs were built, critical evidence that may lead them to one of the most wanted people in America. And I have never seen a response like this. There were literally hundreds of agents here within minutes. And while it seems chaotic, they have task force ready to go. And it is a coordinated effort. Reporting live, Rebecca Lopez. Back.
Rebecca, thank you.
Hey guys, welcome back to Nicole's View. So as I stated in my last video, I definitely planned on continuing to follow the story. It is my hometown. I am an Austin native. I still have my mother, my father, and 2 sisters who still reside in Austin. So this story has been just giving me I've just been very stressed out about this because, for one, you have some demented demonic devil or devils who are going around, placing, bombs on folks, front porches and just randomly everywhere. And the city, I talked to my mom tonight, and the city is just, folks are just so, it's heightened, and you can't blame them. All right. You don't know what's next. Who's next? Whoever is doing this, of course they're getting a kick out of it. Of course they're trying to change up their MO at any chance they get. And if you didn't hear tonight, at a local Goodwill there, an employee was hurt by what they thought was another bomb, but the authorities there are saying that it's not, and it's not connected to the actual serial bomber or bombers. Okay, so now you have possible copycats. It's very unnerving, and folks are they're just at their wits' end with this, because at this point you would think there would be some type of lead. I don't know. Maybe they know some stuff that we don't know. Well, of course they do. But at this point in the game, we see this is all going on. We see how lackadaisical your mainstream media has been about it. They'll speak about it in passing, although in my opinion, this story should be just as big and out there, just like these shootings and all that. And why is that? Because the first 2 victims who were killed were black? I want to know. But that's the vibe I'm getting. And folks out there, you know, who think this. And then they don't want to call it terrorism. It is terrorism. You have some maniac, alleged possible white supremacists, in my opinion, going around leaving bombs everywhere. I'm just going by the history. The history. This is their history. And the chances, the likelihood of them possibly being from the military, being experienced around this kind of stuff, being white, being male, this is their makeup. Now, if it comes out to be somebody totally different, then hey, it is what it is. But can you blame us? And then I just get more nervous because, in my opinion, whoever is doing this, they're going to get bored with the small stuff. They're going to want to up the ante. They're going to want to possibly target larger areas, bigger buildings. And that's my fear. That's my fear. Possibly schools or big stores. And that, in my opinion, that just, you know, because my family's there and, you know, I've been keeping close contact with them. And this crap right here is insane. It's insane that whoever's doing this has been able to get away with it this long. You think in this age of technology and cameras, something would have been caught. Someone would have seen something. And here we are still a good month into this, because remember, the very first bombing happened on March 2nd. All right. So March is almost over with. And we have a demon, a devil, who's causing all this havoc, all this terror. And they don't even want to call it terror. I'm going to call it terror. It's a terrorist who's going around doing this. Yes, I said it. And the fact that they don't want to call it terrorism lets me even know more so. Yeah, most likely he's a white male. All right. So this is the latest with this, guys. And this is what happened at the Goodwill store, I believe in South Austin. And I'm reading this from KXAN.com. And it says, Goodwill incident unrelated to serial bomber military ordnance was mishandled. Now, honestly, it could possibly be a copycat. It could be the same person. I just want to know, how do they know so quickly that it's not connected to who was doing this? Guess they know more than we do, as I said before. Anyway, what was believed to have been an explosion at a South Austin Goodwill that had authorities swarming the area on Brody Lane at Slaughter Lane turned out to be unrelated to the serial bombings around Austin. The Austin Fire Department says the call for a possible package explosion came in at 7 p.m. at the Goodwill located at 9801 Brody Lane, which is just north of Slaughter Lane. Austin Travis County EMS says a man in his 30s was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. In a tweet at 8:05 p.m., the Austin Police Department said the items inside the package was not a bomb, but rather an incendiary device, and it wasn't a package explosion. During a news conference at 9:40 p.m., APD Assistant Chief Eli Reyes made it very clear this incident was in no way connected to the series of bombings that the city has seen. We have no reason to believe that this has any relation to the other incidents that have occurred, says Reyes. Reyes explained a Goodwill employee found a box that someone had dropped off that contained items that the store didn't want. The employee then handed the box over to another employee to dispose of it. That employee took the box around the corner, and upon looking inside the box, it had two small devices that were artillery simulators that looked like some type of military ordnance or memento, says Reyes. When the employee handled it, it went off in his hand. After their investigation, police determined there were two artillery simulator devices that were approximately 6 inches in length. Even though it turned out to be unrelated, Reyes says everyone responded to the calls as if it were an explosion. Can you blame them? I mean, really. Of course, as you can imagine, with all the incidents that have been going around in the Austin area, recently we responded this with our EOD explosive ordnance team, along with ATF, FBI, to investigate this just as we did with all the rest of the incidents that occurred in the city as an explosive device, explained Reyes. A spokesperson for Goodwill of Central Texas says an employee was injured but had non-life-threatening injuries. St. David's South Austin Medical Center says the person was treated and released as of 9 p.m. Goodwill says the Brody location will remain closed Wednesday. All right. So it just goes on to say that the Department of Public Safety trooper vehicle responded to the scene, and his vehicle caught on fire. I saw that, but he was fine. And it talks about the areas impacted. Brody Lane was blocked off for a period of time until police cleared it around 10 p.m. The Austin Independent School District says nearby Bowie High School was on reverse evacuation for an hour, but was cleared at 8:30 p.m. A KXAN viewer named Cliff lives 4 blocks away and said he was in his backyard when he heard a loud pop. At first, I thought the worst. By the sound, I thought maybe it was a transformer because it was a higher sounding pop. Then I heard sirens. When I heard more sirens, I knew it was not a transformer, said Cliff. So, I personally think this could still be the person trying to throw folks off, but you know what? Who knows? At this point, I mean, it's just a wild, wild west. Bombs going off. And who's to say, this is going to keep going on and on and on. Who's to say this person doesn't stop just out the blue and we never find who's doing this? Who's to say? And then, I don't know if you guys heard, but they said that possibly someone was on Reddit saying that they were the bomber and that they wanted to blow as many people up as possible and, admitted that it was them. But from what I last heard, Reddit has removed that post and the person and all that. But it wouldn't shock me if whoever's doing this, of course, is on one of these websites, especially if it has a white supremacist leaning, view of the world. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But anyway, for those of you out in Austin, be careful, be mindful of everything. Watch your surroundings. Anything that looks suspicious, don't touch it. Keep an eye on your kids. Make sure your kids are not just wandering around, because we have some folks who they don't watch the news. They're in their own world. And even though, yes, we live in the age of social media, folks talking and all that, but who's to say someone may not be on social media? They may not watch the news or TV like that and have no clue. All right. Yeah, you'd be shocked. There are a lot of people walking around here like they're in La La Land. And then when something happens, well, nobody told me. No, it's up to you to still know what the hell is going on in your city, in your state, in your country, in your world. So I just continue to say, be careful. I'm just praying my family stays safe, your family stays safe. And that's all we can do until they finally find who's doing this. And apparently the reward has been, it's currently like over 115,000. They've upped it. So, man, if only, right? But anyway, let me know what you think about this, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video.